right, Logan. I'm just going to let you know. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Because not only did Tennessee baseball beat Alabama, but Tennessee softball a day later, I don't know if they swept Alabama, but they beat Alabama.
They swept the doubleheader.
Hey, so did we.
That's
So did
right.
baseball. So it's a great weekend to
Oh
be.
no, there wasn't a doubleheader, but yeah, it was a great weekend.
Great
Lots
weekend.
of beating Alabama. It was a great weekend.
Beating Alabama all over the place. It's things you love to see. And if you disagree, don't know why you're listening to the podcast. But thanks for being here. And welcome to the Rocky Top Rundown. My name is Alec, and with me, as always, is Mr. Logan Thompson. Logan, how you feeling?
A little hot at you, but other than that, I'm feeling all right.
What'd I do?
You just keep making these clips that are getting me drilled on TikTok, and you don't ever get drilled on clips on TikTok.
That's not true. That is
I don't
not
believe
true.
you.
Go back and look
I
at
don't
the
believe you.
Iowa State reels and TikToks I made for the final or for the elite. Wow, what was that? Sweet 16 game. Man, Iowa State fans found it and were shredding me.
Well, I'm just telling you, I will die on that Nick Saban hill last week.
Yeah,
I will
you
die on it.
you just picked the
That
wrong
was
year, but you're right.
that
You're right.
was true.
That
No, I misspoke on but they still helped usher him into retirement.
You're right. You're right. And I'll make a new clip of that and put it back out there. I'll respond to it or however that works. So
Just like he looked salty
it's true.
because he had success against him
He couldn't stop the
from a
offense.
from a production standpoint.
Correct.
And I mean, yeah, I mean what he said was unfair on that draft.
Oh,
It's
yeah. That
just what he said was wrong.
that's very true.
If he would have said that, if he would have said that 12 months ago, it wouldn't have
Right.
been. It would have been
Correct.
fair. It would have been justified.
And I
But what he,
probably did you a disservice in leaving the whole like part of you got ran into retirement by this offense. Like that wasn't fair, but you were showing emotion, and I liked it, so I left it in there. So you got
I hate Nick Saban.
well.
I refuse. I refuse to ever name him as the goat of anything. I won't do it. I don't care. Not doing it. Won't do it.
You sound like Jordan is the goat. People refusing to
No,
recognize LeBron's greatness.
no, I won't do it. I'm not
Oh
going to
man.
do it.
Well, hey, you know
Forget
what?
that guy.
Is
I'm
that
just telling
is
you.
that what you really want to say?
Yeah, Dabo's the goat.
Yikes! Yikes!
Just kidding.
No, we all know who the goat is. Coach O.
Hey,
He
that
did.
dude knows how to surround himself with talent.
He may have. Who are you taking? 2019 LSU, 2020 Alabama.
Oh, 2019 LSU.
Oh, I agree. I don't know that you can take any team that was in 2020. Everything was weird
Oh,
that
well,
year.
don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that because then you're going to get Bron's NBA bubble title taken away.
Well,
You're using that logic.
but see, that's different. I would say that's one of the hardest finals to have won because all
I
they did
I
was focus on basketball.
I would agree with you because
Yeah,
Bron's the goat. But
that one was definitely a difficult one to win. You're talking about you had no distractions. It was just basketball. So, but hey, Logan, let's talk about baseball. We're in the midweek, and we got a weekend series coming up, and so let's recap the weekend, talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. Let's make sure we talk about the good. I feel like all we talk about when it comes to baseball is the bad and the ugly, but Alabama comes out, and honestly, Friday night I thought it was going to be a lot of the same. Alabama comes out and in some ways just dominates. Felt like they were dominating, even though Tennessee was even though Tennessee, yeah, I'm looking at the right box score. Even though
the bats
Tennessee,
were good.
yeah, um, honestly, the offense did enough to win. They put up 8 runs, but it felt like it was Alabama's game. It just felt like Tennessee wasn't doing enough to win, and that's what it ultimately came down to. Lena Mack comes out and throws 29 pitches, and somehow only gives up 1 run in the first inning. But it just Mack was just not good, and then Appenzeller comes in and he was not good. And I heard a stat that just under half of the pitches thrown in game one were balls, which is
Yeah,
absolutely unacceptable. For a
Not
pitching
ideal.
staff this good, like you got to be better, and they know that. I don't think any pitcher goes out there wants to throw a majority, almost in a majority of their pitches be balls, and so it's Mac just seemed off his game. That balk he gave up in the top of the second, like, just was I mean, you gotta if you're trying to reset the pitch clock, throw to first, throw to third, like know where the runners are. But turn around, throwing a second, trying to reset the pitch clock just for no one to be there, getting a balk, it spiraled the rest of the inning or the rest of the game
Well,
from there.
I mean, do you know what his ERA is in conference play?
I mean, isn't it right around 3 or 4?
His ERA in conference play is over 6.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's been the issue. Is like he was great against LSU. I think he went against LSU he went like 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. I think.
Yeah.
Uh, Outside of that, I think he's given up a minimum of 4 runs and as many as 7 runs in every start he's had.
Yikes.
Like
Yeah.
he's just not been good enough in conference play.
Yeah. 6.82 ERA in conference plays. 0 of 3. 0-3 in his win loss, and he has given up 26 runs. He's only struck
Mhm.
out. He struck out 41. I mean, he's right there with Coons and Blanco with strikeouts. And so, that's not good. And he's given up
No.
10 home runs, which is, I mean, Blanco's given up 8, but all of Blanco's are single shots. So you're all right with that. But
Blanco also gave up like 4 in one game against Vanderbilt when that wind when they
yeah,
go there's 31 combined runs in the game. So
so it's just
I mean it
Mac
still
hasn't.
counts, but
Right. And when you talk about your top five and Coons, Appenzeller, Blanco, Arv, and Mac is by far the worst out of those top five. And so, but Tennessee rebounds late Friday night. They got an, or sorry, late Thursday night or maybe Friday morning. They announced they're going to do double header to avoid potential weather on Saturday, just for there to be no weather on Saturday. And Tennessee comes out game 2. I mean, Logan Teagan Coons, masterclass, like ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous stuff. He gets the win, and I don't know how many hits he gave up himself. I'm pulling it up now. Got these out of order. That's so great for me. Um, yeah, Coons went 8 innings. No, he went on 9. Oh, he only went 8 because they run ruled.
he run ruled him correct.
Yeah, and
I
so
think he would have gone back out for the ninth.
yeah, but he only gives up 3 hits across the entire game, 9 strikeouts. I mean, incredible. So, in a shutout, you're never gonna be upset about. And then the bat showed up again, 10-0. Now,
No,
Alabama had 2 errors. Tennessee took advantage of that, and they were in spots where
sure
Tennessee was
did.
able to go. But that's part of it. You got to play the hand that's been dealt, and Tennessee did that. And then turn around, and I texted you this, but the doubleheader clearly, I think benefited Tennessee. I think doubleheaders typically are going to benefit the home team, and Tennessee benefits there. And game 3, they come out, they win 11-4. Blanco looked great, and the offense continued to open up. You go 8, 10, 11 runs through a series, and from there you play West Georgia. That's not a great team, but you score 13 there, and against Lipscomb last week you put up 14, and so we are starting to see. And then before that you put up 13 against Ole Miss. So you have seen now across how many games is that? Is that 6 games? You have put up significant amount of runs, and that's really encouraging heading into Kentucky. So, big win is the offense came back, and I think part of that is something you and I talked about. I guess I brought up, but the at bats continue to be good. The quality of these at bats have gotten significantly better over the last couple weeks, and you can tell, and it's starting to pay off, at least from my opinion. And it also helps that both games on Saturday and then that final game against Ole Miss, like the weather has been better in Knoxville, and that's definitely helped where the ball is starting to carry better. Because we talked about this. They were hitting a ton of balls just super hard. Nothing was going anywhere. They're hitting it straight at guys. It wasn't getting lift, things like that. But man, like I'm really excited to see where this keeps going. Blaine Brown, he looks like the man that you thought he was going to be when you brought him in. Your top guys have been great at the plate. Grimmer has been exceptional. Was exceptional over the last four or five games. And as a whole, and I mean, really, you could go down the top five batting average guys, and you would be very pleased with what you're seeing. And so, that's a lot of the good. Logan, what else did what else needs to be covered or discussed about Alabama? Because, outside of pitching just not being good in game one and Appenzeller struggling, you gotta, the offense has been great. And so, it, I mean, we need Appenzeller to get better. Hopefully his start on Tuesday helps, but I've talked a lot, so I'm gonna throw it over to you, Logan.
I think you covered it all.
I was trying not to.
I think you did. Um, yeah, it all started with, Tegan Coons absolutely shoved. He was great against State,
Yeah,
and he was good against. Yeah, he was great against Ole Miss. That you didn't give me run support against Ole Miss.
correct.
So his last three starts have been probably his best three starts of the year. But that was domination
It was
on Friday, and it set the tone. I heard maybe the VolQuest guys. Somebody was saying that, Elander called him Thursday night or whatever and said, "Hey, we're giving you the ball on Friday in game 2, and it's the game of the year. Like, we have to have it."
Yeah,
And he responded.
yeah,
It set the whole tone for the whole day. I was excited from the standpoint of doubleheaders are great if you can win the first one,
yeah,
because you can really carry that momentum in the second game. It just it's weird. Baseball just works that way. Doesn't guarantee 2 wins, but excuse me. If you do enough, you can really carry that momentum in the second game, which is what they did 100%. Like you said, it was the best Blaine Brown's looked. It wasn't just roll over ground ball, strikeout. He was using the middle of the field. I think he went oppo, one at bat, hit a couple homers. And they got to have him, even if he stays in this, that 6-7 hole, and you don't move him back up to the top third of the lineup. If he's hitting there, that lineup gets so much longer.
yeah,
And it's, same thing with Levi Clark getting in the 9 hole. You got who was supposed to be your 3-hole hitter in the 9 hole.
yeah,
So it's like the lineup completely changes. We've talked about it. We talked about it last week a little bit. The one, and my energy is the same. Treating it like basketball. My expectations are low, but it's still fun to get behind them. And you still see the expectations are low, with also the understanding that there's absolutely a way that they can turn a corner and turn it on going into this part of the year.
yeah,
They play elite defense, and they have the capability to have elite pitching. And whether it's always going to be that way, that's a little hit or miss. There's a consistency thing there, but it's there. And then obviously they've shown that they can actually hit the ball too. They're talented. They're one of the more talented teams in the country. And that's what they showed this weekend, because Alabama's pretty good. Alabama gives you gifts defensively, which is what happened in both those games.
yeah, on Friday.
But Tennessee never takes advantage of those until they did.
Correct.
So, yeah, no, it was great. It was good to see Blaine be good. Henry Ford is finally looking more like Henry Ford again.
Yeah.
I listened to his interview on the Mike Keith show this week, and he said he has walking pneumonia. He's kind of gotten over it now. He's at the end of it. That's what he got, was walking pneumonia, and he told Mike Keith he had lost 20 pounds.
Good.
He's only added 10 of those 20 pounds back.
Goodness, man.
So that changes. There's no way it doesn't change what you do and how you perform.
And he's still, in the field at the plate, he left some things to be desired, but in the field, you wouldn't have been able to tell.
Yeah.
And I don't care who you are. Pneumonia is not easy, let alone trying to play a sport with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Yeah, man, there's just a lot of good, and Appy will be okay. There's a freshman wall everybody hits. I thought they did a good job getting him in on Tuesday, letting him throw an inning and just kind of have a
Reset.
good outing.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so that'll be okay. Arvidsson was solid. Um, Bo Reedy looked good for that ninth inning. I'm glad they got him a little work at the end there just to get him some work and not have 2 weeks in between usage.
Yeah.
So
Which he's
no
got to
man, it
be
was a
better.
lot of
He's got to
good and
continue to come along because that's an
yeah,
arm that you bring in to have a different slot throwing, and it has potential to shut down an offense.
yeah.
And you got to see him continue to progress.
Well, and that's the hard part, right? Is because like the guys, some of the that's the biggest issue with this bullpen, and I guess we're going the negative route right now. Is that guys that you had a big expectation to perform haven't, like
Right.
Brady Frederick, who was a preseason All Conference guy, and hasn't been good at all. You don't trust him at all to go in.
Right.
Krenzel. I think some of that is player issue, some of that is coaching issue. Because I think Elander kind of hung him out to dry, leaving him in too long in that Georgia series, and I think it's just working his confidence back.
Yeah.
Like you need Krenzel. Mark Hindy was supposed to be somebody good for you, and it hadn't been. So, yeah, they still need a couple answers in the bullpen, but you got to like some of the things they're doing there. So, it's exciting. It was good to see. I know it's West Georgia, but it's always good to see some of those guys. When you score 13, you score 13,
Yeah.
and they hadn't always done that even against lower level teams.
Correct.
So,
Then they only put up 4. They did a walk off in the ninth against one of these midweek teams.
yeah. So it's like, you know, I don't. I'm not getting my hopes up that they work their way into a top 16 seed. You know what? You sweep Kentucky this weekend. You take 2 out of 3 from Texas. Your
You,
RPI is a top 10 RPI.
you'd be in an argument.
You're in the conversation.
Yeah. And that, I mean, a month ago, a month and a half
No
ago,
shot.
you
Yeah.
wouldn't have taken that. And it's one of those things where Elander's also gonna shatter the record of wins by first year head coach in
What's your
this
head
in
coach?
this
Yeah.
program. He passed 30 this on Tuesday,
Mm.
and that broke Tony's record of 29. And so he's got potential to push that into the 40s if things continue to progress the way that they do or the way that they are. And so I am excited about when it comes to pitching. Like obviously the starters are good, but man, I think the bullpen has some guys that I don't know that you're going to be able to rely on in like a deep clutch situation, but they can eat innings and you're not worried. Like I really do think Abraham House, no Haas and Day when they've come in have been, I think, pretty good.
It's been positive outings.
Correct. They're not coming out and giving up 5 runs. Now, part of that
Yeah.
is Elander's leash has gotten wildly shorter on some of these guys. He's
True.
yanking them quick, which is great because I think that's where we're seeing his growth as a coach. Also, something we've talked about where he just had a lot to learn. It's a whole lot different to coach for an entire season rather than hit or miss when your head skipper just gets irate one night and gets thrown out. So I think that we're only going to continue to see them grow. Question for you before we flip over to Kentucky. How much, and I don't know that's being talked about enough by anybody, but how big is Stone Lawless's return? Because him coming back has in some ways sparked this offense. He comes back the Sunday of Ole Miss, and things haven't been the same since. Now, I'm not saying
Well, yeah,
he's
but
this offensive juggernaut, but I'm saying, is it helpful because it's putting guys in more comfortable positions?
yeah. I mean, absolutely. Um, well, that's the one thing you heard about, and that's why he got to. I don't know who all remembers last year, but like he got to travel with the team last year,
Hmm.
and maybe even 2 years ago, because he's just an elite teammate. Everybody talks about how great of a teammate he is. The guys just want him around, and so just having him around and in the lineup already boosts morale and confidence. And then listen, man, he's hitting 260, give or take, maybe
In
maybe a little
conference
bit,
play,
maybe in the
he's hitting
250s.
190,
Okay, is it so? Okay, well, so I
but
was
but
wrong there,
it's
but
it's skewed.
yeah,
And no one was hitting well pre his injury. He
what did he
comes
do? Miss
back.
miss three series.
Yeah, he got hurt in Vanderbilt and pretty much missed the majority of that series. So then you
Okay,
went what? Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, or Vanderbilt
Mississippi
State,
State.
Ole Miss, and then he comes back on Sunday.
LSU
Oh, LSU,
missed
yeah.
them
So
too.
three
So
series.
he's missed the majority of the series.
Yeah,
So on the year, with everything, he's hitting in the 250 range.
yeah,
I mean, for a catcher, you can live with 250.
right.
And so he just is a guy that everybody likes having in the lineup. So he's automatically boosting morale. He's been
Yeah,
good behind the plate.
yeah,
So yeah, it absolutely I think makes a difference. And it gives you the chance to mix and match so everything's right, because it's crazy to think that you would actually have 4 catchers in your lineup. But Tennessee has 4 catchers.
yeah,
They play Stone at catcher. Then Levi's a catcher who's playing first. Blake Grimmer's a catcher who's playing. No, that's not right. Garrett Wright's playing center, and then Grindlinger is the DH.
yeah,
So you have 4 catchers in your lineup,
yeah.
which is crazy. Who would have
And
thought
Levi
that?
Clark's been great at first.
Yeah, and he's good behind the plate. He's been catching on Sundays for um Evan Blanco. So, and I know we're jumping around. This is probably the most unorganized podcast from a topic perspective, but it's like, can we just talk about how great it is? And of course, I know we're going to touch on this. They've changed it up a little bit, but how confident are you when you're going in to a rubber match game with Evan Blanco on the mound and it's
Agreed.
1-1?
Agreed.
I mean, dude, the dude's been so freaking good.
He has. So good.
They were terrible on Sundays last year, and this year you feel like they're going to win every Sunday game.
Correct.
And the ones they've lost have been bullpen blow it at Vanderbilt,
Right.
win LSU, you win.
Did they win the LSU Sunday game? I thought the bullpen blew that as well.
No, they won Oh, that's right. They won Saturday, and the bullpen
Yeah.
blew They gave up 10 runs in the 12th inning.
Yes, it blew open in extras.
Yeah. So but he's been great. None of them have been. It's been late game situations. It's like, dude, giving Stone Lawless props, I believe, but dude, Evan Blanco has been phenomenal. And I just wanted to throw that out there because it's been like you have confidence when he's
100%.
It may get a little haywire here and there, but he buckles it down, and he's just been so good.
No, 100%. And you know what else is phenomenal is when people follow, like, subscribe to the podcast, whether you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or watching on YouTube or listening on YouTube. Make sure you are subscribed and you are following the channel. 1, so you get notifications when new episodes drop. But 2, it helps us a ton trying to figure out, what do partnerships and things look like? Is that even a possibility? Everyone wants to know numbers. And so when we have follower accounts and things like that, it's really helpful. And we're just trying to grow something that we both think is great. And so appreciate all the support we've had up to this point, or the lack of support, or no, not lack of support, but the anti-support in the social media channels. And follow us there. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Shorts, and TikTok. It's all the same content, just 3 different platforms. But make sure you give us a follow there as well. We got different snippets in there. Typically, the ideas are cut down. The point of the idea is said much faster than what we do on a podcast. But thank you so much for listening. And let's flip over to Kentucky. And so, Logan, they are heading to Lexington. Game times were announced today. I believe tomorrow night, Friday night, is at 6 o'clock or 6:30 Eastern, followed on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then 1 p.m. Eastern. Going to be interesting. This will be the first time that they've played on a Saturday afternoon, if I remember correctly. I don't think that they've played an SEC series on Saturday during daylight. They've played at that same nighttime position. And so kind of bummed about that because it is an SEC Network Plus game, so I would rather that be at night, but whatever. Just my preference. And so, Logan, we're heading into Kentucky. Elander announced the expected starters, and there's a switch up. We're moving. He has chosen to start Tegan Kuhns on Friday. I think it's well-deserved. Kuhns has been fantastic. He's been the pitcher of the week. He was pitcher of the week last week, maybe one of the pitchers of the week before as well. But going Kuhns, Blanco, and then Mack heading into this weekend. I have my thoughts. I am torn, but before I want to give you the opportunity to give your thoughts on this pitching changeup.
I understand it.
Yeah,
I do. I'm apprehensive about it. I have no problem with Tegan Kuhns being the Friday night guy. I also like him being there on that Saturday as your swing guy. You're either going for the series win or you're going to make sure you don't lose the series.
Right.
But I also, obviously, it makes sense. Throw your best guy, set the tone early, get up 1-0. So I'm fine with that. My concern is Evan Blanco has been so good on Sundays.
Yeah,
He's been so good on Sundays. I don't know that you mess with it.
I agree.
Like, let Mac throw. I don't know. Let Mac throw on. It's not like Mac is just terrible. Like, has he been great? No, that ERA 6 is a problem.
Yeah,
But the stuff's there. And you've seen streaks of dominance.
yeah.
So,
But at
is
the same
then,
time, he's had back-to-back weeks of high first inning pitches or
yeah,
high first inning pitch counts, and that's not good for
yeah.
anybody.
No, and I mean, and with that much usage on his arm, I mean, you're getting him 2 days extra. You used to go in seven. I
Three
mean, you're getting
days.
him like 3 days extra rest.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't hate it. I just don't know that that would be my first choice. Let's just put it that way. Just because Blanco's been so good on Sundays.
So are you saying you would go Coons, Mac, Blanco?
Mac Blanco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you, but I think I take a different approach in the sense of I know you want to win game one, but it's as we were talking earlier, like it's similar to my driver when it comes to golf. If I hit it straight, if I get a hold of it and I hit it straight, it's going to go a very long way. The problem is I don't get a hold of it and hit it straight very often. But if I do, it's going to be a great hole. I feel the same way about Mac. Like he has clearly shown the potential to do things well, and you've got two guys that can handle the cleanup duty on Saturday and Sunday. But I also understand that in some ways, your team's a little. I don't want to. I got to be careful because I don't want to accuse or sound like I'm saying something about the team that I'm not meaning to say. But it's important to keep morale and spirits up, and so I understand moving. If you can just go ahead and get Coons and Blanco in there, win by Saturday. Who cares what happens Sunday?
Sure.
And I think you're playing. The more I'm saying, the more I'm talking, the more I'm realizing this is a go for the series, not a sweep. Because in some ways, like yes, you have that safety net there, but also it is the aggressive approach to pushing your chips in, going all in with what you got, and trying to get the wins Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday maybe Mac figures it out when there's less pressure on a Sunday, and then he's able to get back in a groove.
I
You
mean,
know,
here's the thing too. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
you're good.
like Sundays are the high scoring days. You're running out of arms. Like you're playing day games, so the ball's carrying.
Right.
Like Sundays are your high scoring games, anyways.
Yeah.
So then you're like, okay, Max giving up a few more, but we think we're going to get a few more too.
Right.
So, like, I mean, I could see that logic being applied. Just like I said, he's just been so good. I just don't know that you mess with, I don't know. I don't know. I, I, I don't necessarily think there's a wrong decision. I just think I have my preference on how they would do it.
Right. I mean, I don't disagree. But the also the reality is none of this really matters if Arvidsson and Appenzeller are not better out of the bullpen. It doesn't. I mean,
Yep.
you didn't even have to go to one of them in game two because Coons was that good, but you can't rely on that. And
Yeah.
so those guys have to step up as well because if they are struggling coming out of the bullpen, it doesn't matter how well your starters go unless they go 7, 8 innings, and you're just counting on these guys to get 5 outs. But I think that's an unrealistic expectation. So I think that you gotta. I get it. I just it's tough because I want to sit here and be like, well, you've won, but it's the reality is you haven't. You haven't been as dominant. You've had a
Yeah.
couple good weekends here or there, but you need to make this change because especially if the offense continues, because that's the next question as we're heading to Kentucky. We're talking about a small ball group. Um, Logan, do you think that you think the offense for Tennessee is going to continue up in Lexington, doing what it's currently doing? Well, Logan's having some Wi-Fi problems, so I will go ahead and say it. I think that there is good opportunity for it. I think that you're looking at I'm looking at their statistics right now, and you know Kentucky's best pitchers. Looking at this, their main arms have an ERA of just under 4, 508, 581, 4.6, 4.25, and 5.4. So I feel like you have an opportunity to do something great. You just got to go do it. And so it's definitely one of those things where I think that there is good opportunity, and I think that it's um, I think that things are going to go continue to go well for the offense. Logan, are you back? Logan, you back? Man, this is great. Man, we are this stellar podcasting here. So, anyways, if you are listening live, thank you so much for your patience. I apologize greatly for this, some technical difficulties, but it is what it is. Um, so, um, let's do this. We're gonna pivot. We're just gonna do this old school. All right, we're just doing this old school. So, if you're listening, Logan is now on the cell phone next to the mic to finish out this episode as we are having some technical difficulties tonight. And so, Logan, I was before you cut out was just talking about how I think that the offense for Tennessee can continue because looking at the stats with Kentucky's best or well most used pitchers based on innings pitched. We're looking at ERAs of 3.96, 508, 5.81, 4.6, 4.26, and 5.4. That's their top. What is that? Six guys with no one with an ERA under 3.5. And so, to me that spells out like Friday night's going to be a duel, and Tennessee defense is going to have to be on their game, but from there, it seems like there may be some opportunity for the bats to come alive again.
Oh yeah, I mean I think so. I mean, Kentucky's just, and you may have touched on it. Like I said, I've been cutting it out. Kentucky's gonna do things to like get under your skin. So like, they're not afraid to come inside when they're pitching. They're obviously loud and obnoxious. They do stupid stuff. And so you just have to like keep your same approach at the plate. Stay within yourself, like you said. Have good at bats. Be patient. And they're not. I mean, they're not a terrible baseball team as they're not, but they have in the last couple of years. So it's like I think you'll have opportunities to score, even though I mean, a Friday night, I don't think it's going to be the easiest matchup for you, but you're going to have opportunities to score as long as you have good at bats. If you keep having the bats that you've been having, so yeah, it'll be a challenge winning on the road in the SEC is hard. I feel like we say that about every sport because it's true, I guess.
Yeah.
But if you keep doing what you're doing now, which is a big if because they haven't really put two series together all year, you're going to have a really good shot of going in there and at least getting 2 out of 3 and putting yourself in a position to sweep them.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I mean, it's definitely. I mean, I don't want to sit here and be like, the offense is back because you've had success at home, so you need to see this translate on the road, and kind of like what you were saying. But flipping to the defensive side, I'm very curious to see how this Kentucky team. I think the small ball that Kentucky plays, it is also a mentally Kentucky's going to put this Tennessee team in a position that I don't think this Tennessee team has been put in yet. You know, Ole Miss had some cocky guys on it. LSU, and they didn't really run their mouth, and Vanderbilt's Vanderbilt. But you're talking about a team that they do things. I think they do things to intentionally try to irritate their opponents and win a mental game that the small ball approach already puts a ton of strain on. And so I'm going to be you got to be on. You know, this is a Kentucky team where you give them an inch, they're running a mile. Like it's not taking, they are sprinting the mile and not going to look back. And that's what they are intentionally trying to see how close to the edge they can get you. And then when you break, they take advantage.
Sure. Yeah, that's right.
And so, you know, I mean, I'll be interested too. You know, how much does you want the bats to keep going, but at what point do we see that combination in center field in the center part of the field with Antigua, Marin, and Abernathy, and kind of that trio in the center portion of the field? Like, is Elander going to see that happen faster? Or are we going to see Elander do that faster if, you know, especially the offense puts up 8 runs? Or really, I don't know that this. I'm not 100% sure, but I would imagine this Kentucky team, they're capable of putting up double-digit runs, but it looks like at a quick glance in SEC play, they're not. You know, they put up 9 runs twice against South Carolina last weekend, but they're not a high octane offense. So if you can put up 6 or 7 runs in the first 5 innings, I wouldn't be shocked if Elander went to a park the bus mentality where he just is putting his best defenders on the field to finish out the game.
I mean, I think he'll do it to finish out the game. I don't think you're going to see him do it in the sixth inning.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the mentality is pouring on as much as you can, and you're not going to, you know, because if you put like an Abernathy in, if you didn't start him, you put him in, that means you're probably taking Blaine Brown's bat out of your lineup. And if it's the Blaine Brown bat that you've got in the last 10 days, you want to get him as many as bats as you can. So because if they do that, they move Garrett right to left field, Abernathy in center, and then Antigua at second, things like that. And so I definitely think it's something you do. You know, if you're up 6-0, if you're up 6-2 going into the bottom of the 8th, you absolutely do that. I mean, that's not even a question.
Right.
But you can never have enough of this league. Weird stuff happens.
Yeah.
Kentucky is death by 1,000 paper cuts sometimes. So you could get 2 bloops and then a bunt, and all of a sudden you got second and third, you know, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th, and you're only up 6-2. And then who knows what happens from there.
Right.
You know? So I don't think there's ever enough runs.
Right.
But I mean, I do think it's a move you make at some point if you are up, because then obviously you want to put your best defensive guys out there so you make them earn everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the other thing too, is that I don't know if this is one of Kentucky's more clean teams in the defensive on the defensive side of the ball. They are at 47 errors on the year, and I think Tennessee, in comparison, is at 25, maybe 26. I could be wrong. I'll verify that in a second. But you know, I'm sorry. And let me do the whole year. I had it in just an SEC play. For the whole year, they're at 23. I was close. And so, you know, this is a Kentucky team similar to Alabama where you may be able to have some opportunities that you've got to take advantage of, especially with the small ball approach that Kentucky has. And you definitely, it's an opportunity where I would imagine in some way the stadium's going to be full. People are going to be there ready to support. So take the crowd out of it as quickly as possible. And I think they will. I would anticipate maybe Friday night. I could see it being like a 5-3 win for Tennessee. You know, it seems like Kentucky's pitcher for Friday night, probably pretty good. From there, I think they could probably open it up and go, especially with game 2 and 3 being at midday slots. That's going to help you. And so, you know, it's definitely an opportunity to sweep. The opportunity is there. And if they can go get it, you know, that puts you, what does that put the record at?
You're 10-11 right now. If you get this, you're saying if they get the sweep,
If they get the sweep, then they go 13 and 11.
11.
You pretty much
Yep.
guarantee you're in. You don't have to win anything else, but the reality is you're probably going to win 2 of your last 6. I would
At
imagine
worst.
you're going to win 2 of your last 6 at worst. So you're looking at 15 and that'd be 15 and 15, would it not? And so that you would be, like you talked about, in an argument to host. So, because that would put your final record at, if they're 30 and 15 now, you sweep, that goes 33, 35. I don't know. You'd have 35 wins on the season, which for as frustrating as this season has been, is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, if you just go 3 out of your last 6, right, and get 16 and 14, you're probably not hosting a super, but you're definitely, I mean, you're not in line to host a super, but you're probably definitely firmly in the mix of hosting a regional.
Yeah.
And then you don't know what happens, right? You could host a super anyways, depending on
correct.
What happens in the region you're matched up with.
Correct. I mean, it was fun to take the little jab at a little brother, but you talked about you don't know what's going to happen, and Vanderbilt was the number one overall seed. They didn't get out of their region. They didn't even get to the super regional. And so they lost their first 2 games and were done. And so you never know what could happen. You just got to get there and let things play out.
Correct.
So, all right, Logan, anything else you want to wrap up with?
No, like I said, expectations, but I'm excited for this weekend just to see if they can keep building on, if they can keep building on what they started last week with Alabama.
Yeah. I mean, I would think they would, and let's be real. You sweep this weekend, you win your midweek. That is a hefty win streak heading into the Texas series, where
Absolutely.
that could somehow, again, with how the season has been, even if you just win the series, somehow you could be coming into that Texas game as a top 25 matchup. And that's going to be a great environment all weekend as you welcome in a top 10 opponent. I believe Texas is still top 10. And, the storylines are going to be all over the place. It'll be very interesting to watch Elander go up against his head coach from when he played at TCU in Schlossnagel. And I can't wait to see what the student section is like that night or, that weekend, because there's all sorts of accusations against Schlossnagel right now. So that's fun. Nothing official. I'm not reporting anything. So anyways, just do some Googling. Logan, anything else?
No, I think I'm good. Just like I said, excited for this weekend and see what they can do. And well, it's always good to beat Kentucky. So
yeah,
beat Kentucky. Don't give them anything to have fun with, and
true.
They keep on trucking.
They got basketball. We don't need to give them anything else. So
yeah, for real.
Anyways, we'll be back on the weekend to there's a lot of movement going on with baseball, or not with baseball, with the portal and portal related things, as the NCAA is figuring out its eligibility rules and finalizing that. So we'll come back, talk about that, talk about the 2 major postseasons expanding. Thank the Lord for college baseball not considering expanding, because everyone else is. We're potentially getting 24 teams in the college football playoff. We're moving to 72 teams in college basketball. So lots of movement in the governance of college athletics, and we'll hit on that, maybe hit on some football and basketball things. Maybe by then Juke Harris is committed, maybe not. Who knows? Rick went out to visit him in California, so plenty to discuss, and we'll be back to talk about that and more on Sunday. So we appreciate you listening, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.